Ahoy everybody, I'm here. I'm a redhead. This is my friend who's a redhead, and in this video we're gonna show you and tell you what redheads can tell you about redwoods.
Redwoods.
In order to help you in business and life.
Redheads.
So, you know me, I'm Ryan Fullen, and this is Michael Houlihan, a good friend of mine, a fellow ginger. He's a ginger brother from another mother. He's also the founder of Barefoot Wines. I'm at his estate here on the Russian River. Just spent an amazing weekend. And when we're up here, we're usually talking shop, but sometimes that shop is nature. And there's this connection between being in nature and talking about business. So we decided, since all of this conversation we've been having is about redwoods and how they apply to business principles, so I'm like, let's make a movie. And he suggested the title, What Redheads Can Tell You About Redwoods. And the first thing is that roots are your network. The second thing is that you have to use your resources. And the third thing is that you have to create your own environment. So why are roots your network? And tell us how the redwoods use their roots as their network.
Well, first of all, redheads, you know, they're pretty hard to miss, you know. And redwoods, they're pretty hard to miss too, because they're the tallest, oldest trees on the planet. You know, we're talking 300 feet high.
Yes.
But the question is, you know, how do they stay up? You know, you're 300 feet high. How does it just not fall down, right? Well, a lot of people don't realize this, but redwoods only go about 12 feet into the ground root-wise, yet they're 300 feet in the air. Why don't they just fall over? Okay, it's because they have the longest, widest roots. They reach out, they grab the roots of other redwood trees and they wrap around them and they hold themselves up like a big mat, like you can't knock me over, I got my buddy over here, you know.
So your network is really the roots. And if you think about, if you want to grow your business, you want to grow your speaking career, you want to grow the fact that you're growing in revenue, selling your products, you have to have that foundation. Everybody talks about it, but don't be mistaken that you have to have deep roots. If you have shallow roots that are able to latch on to a lot of other people around you, which is your network, that's what will keep your ability to grow tall.
Exactly. So that's the first thing that you can learn from a redwood tree, is it stands up with the help of its neighbors by networking.
And at the same time, I'd like to add that by growing roots, it takes a while, just like networking. And there's no quick fix to any of this, but it's building relationship over time. We've built a relationship over the last 3, 4, who knows how many years, but I feel like I've known you forever, and that's because our roots are intertangled after meeting and coming to the minds and making effort and making time to spend time with each other. So building the roots is your network, but just like roots, you have to invest in letting it grow.
And here's a little tip on building roots, okay? The first rule of networking is to take off the bib and put on the apron, okay? How can I help you? That's the first thing you say.
And so as you're growing your roots, in order to latch on to someone else's roots, start that conversation. How can I help to support you and your tree?
Yeah.
What do you have, and how can what I'm doing help to keep you strong and straight? All right, the second tip that redheads can tell you about redwoods is to use your resources.
A lot of people don't realize this about redwoods, but they actually take water right out of the air. They don't necessarily need rain. So they can survive these huge droughts because of the way that they have developed their fronds, their leaves. They're designed with multiple surfaces so that they create condensation of water right out of the fog that comes in off the ocean, which is pretty interesting. This is very resourceful, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and I know a lot of people that talk about resources as something that holds them back. I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money. But if you're looking at yourself as leaves on a redwood tree, look to see what you can create out of the space that's around you, about the existing resources. Get up earlier, stay up a little bit later, network with friends who are in your root connection that can help you solve some of the problems that you have.
But what you got to do is you got to take inventory, see? So you get up in the morning and say, well, what do I have?
What are my resources that I'm sticking with?
Instead of what do I don't have? You say, what do I have? How can I use what I have?
So there's a long-lasting, proven formula when it comes to growth. And if you take it from a tree, especially a redwood, you've got to use your resources. Now, the third thing we're going to talk about is how redwoods create their own environment. Talk to me about this.
Okay, so what redwoods do is they start off, they're just little trees, right? And they're getting, hammered by poison oak and blackberries and other kinds of trees that are trying to put them out of existence. But they survive. They hang in there. They hang in there. Finally, they're taking up all the sun in that area. The other bushes and trees aren't getting that sun, so they get stronger. And before you know it, because they're in a grove, because they're in a network, they create their own environment. They not only control all the sun, but they also control the soil and the acidification of the soil. So they actually change the ground so that certain kinds of things can't grow there anymore. Only the things they like, which happens to be like azaleas, beautiful rhododendrons, ferns. So the idea is you can grow your own environment.
And I think that if you look at something like social media, a lot of people don't feel at home on social media. They feel like it's not their space. And if you treat social media like you're a redwood growing in a forest and you're connecting with other redwoods and making sure that you all have roots that are connected, and then you're using your resources like your ability to create content, then you're creating your own environment. On my Twitter feed, there are no politics, there are no trolls, and that's because that's my policy, that's the environment that I've created. So you can influence the soil, you can influence the resources to make it the environment that you want.
Right, so in summary, roots are your network.
Your roots need to go horizontal to other people, not necessarily in your own island just going strictly down.
Yeah, it's not about how deep, it's about how wide.
Yep.
And then you have to use your resources. These are the God-given gifts that you have. You just have to simmer down, stop complaining about what you don't have, take a look at what you do have.
Yeah, you've got to get the water out of the fog. Okay?
That's it.
These trees take water from the fog. They don't wait for it to rain. And so if you're waiting for it to rain and you're complaining about it being a foggy day, you're going about it all wrong. Use the resources that you have.
Right. And then you can create your own environment. And that's the most beautiful thing. It's because you work with your network, you create your own environment.
You are the redwood of all of your redwoods.
I'm the redhead
You're
in
the
the redwood.
So whether you have red hair or not, whether you have ever seen a redwood or not, you can learn from these two redheads about how redwoods can help you in business and life. Use your roots, go wide, and connect with other people to stay strong. Use your resources, get the water out of the fog, and create your own environment. Find the life that you want to live, find the environment, surround yourself with the people and the trees that you want to engage with.
Amen.
All right, buddy, sounds good. I think I got to jump on a flight back to Los Angeles.
Yes, you do.
Okay, well, I'm glad that we shared this moment.
Put him in the air right now.
All right, adios.